everybody. Welcome back. Erin, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you.
We have a very special guest today, your cousin. I'm
Yeah.
excited to
Yes.
tell his story. Max does a really good job of explaining what consistency really means. He takes the time to put in perspective, even though he played at different levels in college, he made his individual path most important for him so that he can enjoy the sport he loved. And I think that's very important for athletes to hear from one that's gone through it, because not many high school athletes or even our audience per se can take away what an individual's journey is really like, because it's different for every athlete. It's an individual path for every athlete, and you have to make such important decisions, but there's a process to do that. And Max does a really good job emphasizing that and saying how important it is to find the right process as an individual and put it in perspective for those that might be getting into this process.
Yeah. I'm so excited to have my cousin on here. He has kind of been through the works, and you'll hear more in the podcast, but he was in his junior and senior year of high school right when COVID hit. So he had a really unique recruiting experience and also had to really learn how to take initiative to take the first step, communicate with coaches, build his own training plan so that way when he finally was post-pandemic and could play, he was in the best shape that he could possibly be. And we also got to learn about a variety of different opportunities athletes have if you choose not to play at a Division 1, 2, or 3 level. He played club after D3, and he also got to be a practice player for a Division 1 team. And he even said that he had no idea that that was an opportunity until he was in college, but one that he wished he knew about sooner. We also have a really fun rapid fire questions at the end, so make sure you listen all the way through to hear all of his fun and very important answers.
Especially the one about who's the best cousin.
Obviously,
Not forget
the
that one.
entire Molay family is dying to know.
Sounds good. Let's get right into the interview with Max.
Yes.
Welcome back to another episode of the Shining Athletes podcast. Today, we have our first soccer player. Max, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm really excited to be here.
So, Erin, as a family member, you can tell the audience a little bit about your cousin, and then we can go straight into this interview.
Okay, yes, Max is one of my cousins. He is a former D3 soccer player at Gettysburg College. He then transferred to TCU where he played club soccer, and I now know for the better, he was a women's practice player for the women's soccer team at TCU. He committed from Lane Tech High School in Chicago, and he graduated college in 2025. And as much as I talk to Max and all my cousins on Thanksgiving table, I don't know a ton about his soccer career and his soccer journey. So this will be educational for me just as much as it is for you. So, Max, if you're ready, we will dive right into it.
Sounds good.
Okay, can you please share with us how you first got into soccer or how your journey in the athletics world began?
Yes, so nobody in my family ever played soccer really. My dad played baseball, so I grew up really playing baseball a lot, and that's what I started doing a lot of the time. And then I just remember one day I was watching Chelsea versus Barcelona in the Champions League semifinal, and Chelsea won, and they quickly became my favorite team. And ever since then, I fell in love with the sport, and I just felt the more that I watched it, the better I started playing, and the more that I just wanted to go out there and just have fun and play. So. Definitely one of those moments is definitely that. I also remember being young and probably around like 6 or 8 years old. And then I just like remember one year I had a big change and I wasn't playing very well. And then the next year I was playing very, very well. So I decided to just run with it from there.
Awesome. So Max has been playing since childhood and he continued into high school at Lane. Can you please share what the culture was like at Lane?
Yeah, so Lane had an amazing soccer culture, and I knew that going in there. That's the only school I really wanted to go to because of the rich history that it had with soccer. And I knew that it produced a lot of talent and guys that could play at the next level. And they also produced guys that went professional straight out of high school overseas. So, and now there's guys playing in the MLS. So it's just crazy. I knew what to expect going in there, and I had such a great experience. They really push you from all the way from freshman, and they show you what the work ethic is really going to take to be when you're actually at the varsity level a year or two down the line. It's different for everyone, but they just do a really good job instilling that in you and then also creating a family culture as well. I felt like all 4 of my years, my team and I, we were best friends, not only in the season, outside of the season also. So just staying in contact with them all the time and just hanging out off the field helps create that culture. And Lane and the coaching staff and the athletic department in general just do a great job.
With there being gaps between the development that you need between eighth grade and freshman year of being an athlete, can you tell us or describe if there was any mentors on your soccer team in high school that helped you be motivated as you became a high school athlete and helped you with your development as you went through high school?
Yeah, I think just going through high school, I mean, especially as a young kid going in as a freshman year, tryouts, you really don't know what to expect at all. And that's going to be every kid going in there. So I think it's important when you're going into those tryouts freshman year, just, man, you really just do everything you can do for yourself to put yourself in the best position to make the team. It's all up to you at the end of the day. So the more you want to work, the better chance you'll have, I say. And then in terms of finding a mentor, like when you actually are that freshman, I mean, you're always looking up to the varsity guys. You want to be in their shoes and like I can't say that I didn't like when I was younger every day visualize myself playing on the varsity team like just like they were. So it's definitely good. And then I was able to join the varsity team for their state playoffs my sophomore year. So getting that direct contact right with the seniors then who are already going to leave. I didn't even know them very well coming from JV, but they really did a good job of making me feel like family and like I was on the team forever. So I really think it's just being open to learning and taking as much as you can away from people.
Were there any mentors on that team, whether it was a fellow player or a coach from high school that you really look up to? And what did they teach you, or why do you value them so much as a mentor?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with Coach Ricks from Lane, Andrew Ricks. I also had him as a professor my freshman year, so I got to see a little bit of both sides, or teacher, sorry. I got to see both sides, but yeah, he's a really great guy, and I just man, I learned so much from Ricks. Even I learned more after I stopped playing from him than I did during it. Like I just remember one game, just I wish I could have gone back and changed my mental picture and the way that he was trying to explain something to me. And now I look back on it when I'm done playing, and I'm like, wow, he really, really was trying to help me and just do what's best for the team. And I should have been a team player, and all he wanted to do was bring the best out of his players in terms of being a good teammate and not even on the field, just being a leader in the classroom or just in the world in general. Like he loved seeing that, and he was definitely a big part of kind of developing who I am today.
That's awesome. When you were on the varsity team, was there ever a moment that you were playing that you're like, wait, I could actually do this in college? Or when did that hit you?
Yeah, so the college soccer dream, I remember my sophomore year, but even well before that, my friend and I in April of our sophomore year, my friend Christian, we sat down, he wanted to play college football. I was debating on the idea of playing college soccer or not, and we just talked about it and we made an agreement and we went all in and we told us ourselves that we're gonna do whatever it takes to get there. So from that moment on, I had the idea in the back of my head, but I didn't really have a lot of stuff going until my senior year the summer going into my senior year. COVID hit during my junior year, so Division I schools weren't allowed to contact you in person, and you couldn't do in-person recruiting. So at that point, a lot of them just rolled with their guys, which it's okay. Division I is not everything when it comes to the college athletics world in general. I
Mhm.
had a great experience playing Division III, so I was looking at a lot of mainly D3 schools. And yeah, I just went to a recruiting camp where it was an exact sports camp, and there was about 60 coaches there from all over the place, and the ones that actually could come in person and recruit. So that was a great experience, and I did a good job, and I felt that, and the results from that pulled off as well when the coaches started to contact me after. So it was definitely a good experience. I kind of had a late experience compared to a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, I know since you graduated during COVID, can you tell the audience kind of how, if you weren't in COVID, the impact that the recruiting process would have been, say you weren't in COVID, and how you kind of would have approached it in a different sense if there wasn't COVID that happened?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question because I mean, nobody can predict something like that to happen. So when it kind of does happen, you have to react really quickly. If I were to go back in time and it didn't happen, so because it happened in my junior spring, which is debatably the biggest season for a soccer player looking to play in college, that's when a lot of the coaches start to contact you, and that's when you're playing the highest competition games, at least from Chicago. That's what it is. That's when you're playing with your club team. So that was canceled. We didn't get any of that. And then my junior year fall, I was out for the back half of the season, so I didn't have any film at all to go off to. So if I were a kid right now going through the process, I would just try and film yourself as much as you can, film the entire game, and chop it up and make it so that you can see every time that you touch the ball, your mistakes too. When you make a bad pass, you want to show that in there because it is important to show your highlights, but you need to show that you're a person as well. You're not going to complete every single pass in a match. That's just how it is. And the coaches want to see that vulnerability from you as well. So I think just putting yourself out there and playing the game as much as you can and putting your face in front of coaches as much as you can. I mean, at that point, it'll be impossible to miss you.
So then, if that's the typical recruiting process, how was yours different in that sense? What did you have to do instead to make up for all that lost time?
Yeah, so one thing I forgot to mention is, I mean, you do a lot of in-person recruiting at that point in terms of going and doing tours. So I didn't really get to do any tours. I did visit Gettysburg where I went to school, but nobody was on campus and it was Thanksgiving break. So Coach Metric and I, we just met in the athletic center with my dad in the main room. So I didn't really get to go on a lot of tours. So it was kind of tough. You really had to make a good judgment decision based on feel, which I felt at Gettysburg was an amazing decision for me and which I do not regret making at all.
That's awesome.
That's very interesting because I know now with no COVID, it's back to being able to get recruitment visits and meeting with the coaches and kind of spending time with the team as
Yeah,
you approach it, and you
it's so
see what
different.
it's like in real time.
It's
Uh,
so different. Like mine was so different, even from other kids that came in my class. Like my best friend, he visited on campus and he was able to stay with the team for a weekend. I didn't get to do that. So
Mm.
it was just a weird time for everyone. So it was kind of like how good can you be at virtually communicating? So getting on your phone and just, you know what, sending as many emails out to people as you can. I would still do that, you know, when one person comes, the next follows and then on and then on. So you see that with so many people. So it's just getting that first one. And once you get over that hump, and once it's like what you say when you score that first goal, the next one comes even easier. So
That's awesome. Once you
I hear that.
officially committed to Gettysburg, how was that adjustment period from high school varsity to D3 for you athletically?
I mean, it was night and day. It was really night and day. Like, I mean, every person on any college team will probably tell you a very similar thing where you go from being one of the better to the best players, to now you're just everyone was at the best and better player on their team. So
Mhm.
now you really have to fight through the ranks and athletically you really got to hold your ground. It was a big wake up call when I first got there on campus, and I thought I was in pretty good athletic shape. I had bulked up right before I got there, and I'd been running a lot to get the mile test. And then I got there, and there were kids that were in shape like I've never even seen before. So it's everyone just trying to be 1% better than the person next to them, and I think that's what was really good about Gettysburg specifically, and a lot of these programs that play high level D3 athletics. Yeah, your Division 3 in academics is very important, but I mean, athletics is important too. Like I hate losing more than I like winning. So I mean, I may have not been getting the play time I wanted, but I still don't want to go out there and lose. Like I'm going to do everything I can for my team in that situation. So I think just making sure you're on top of your fitness and stay in the weight room and staying the course on the fitness training that your coaches will provide you, it just does really well. And I mean, if you just trust the process, things usually work out.
That's good. What was your specific training schedule looking like? What was the ratio of field time to weight room time to like cardio time? What did it look like for soccer?
Yeah, I mean, Gettysburg was, we did a lot for them. I mean, we knew we had training every day. That's team training. So we knew that was going to be at least 2 to 3 hours every day. That doesn't include watching film. You got to allocate like an hour for film and classwork. You got to show up to class.
Mm-hmm.
Got to do your schoolwork too. So at that point, you already have, but you're only at one session a day. How are you going to be 1% better? So it's finding those little nicks of time here and there, like whether it's waking up early and going to the weight room to get a lift in, or waking up early to go get that on-field session in and getting touches on the ball. It's just really what you think you need and what you and your coaches are communicating with. Like, what do you need to do to put yourself in the best position to play? Like, if your coach thinks you need to get technically better, then I would suggest probably going to on-field and doing the on-field work. But if if your coach says he wants you to be a little stronger, like what else are you can do? I mean, you're obviously gonna go to the gym, but you got to keep up with that on-field ball work as well. So it's a lot of work, and you just got to know how to manage your schedule and know what your priorities are. And you know that one of your priorities is going to be getting that extra or two extra sessions in a day.
So now going more into detail about this, but I know you talk a lot about time management and staying consistent. How did you make sure that your priorities were straight throughout your time at Gettysburg and made sure that you were on time to practice, your academics were intact, and you were staying up to date on everything as you make that hard transition into college?
Yeah, it's definitely a big transition. I mean, for me it was the first time living on my own. So now it's all up to me to figure out what my time is. So how I kind of did it was I just sat down. I was like, what are my priorities and what are my non-negotiables? The non-negotiables you have to do, and you block those out. And once you realize those three non-negotiables, which are training, school, work, and then going to class itself, you got to eat as well. So that's important as an athlete. Like for us, we were running, depending on the day, 6 to 10 miles a day during training. So you got to be properly fueled to do that. So that's a non-negotiable. Really got those four non-negotiables, and then it's just sacrifice also. Like that's just something that I really had to realize as time goes on. You just got to decide, you know what, maybe you can't stay out all night and go out with your friends that one night that you really, really want to. And like, you might regret it later on, but if you really have a long-term goal and you really want to set yourself towards a goal, sacrifices should be the least of your concern, and consistency needs to be everything.
So you had a really great run at Gettysburg, but halfway through you decided to transfer to TCU. What pushed you to make that transition from D3 soccer to a bigger school and a D1 school, but to play club?
Yeah, so I mean, I probably like anyone would tell you in the situation is the toughest decision I've had to make in my life thus far. I was 19 at the time, so I didn't really know what I wanted. I just wasn't enjoying the school as much as I probably should have. I mean, and every school is not going to be for everybody, and I would never like nothing was wrong specifically with the program itself. I just wasn't getting the playtime I necessarily wanted, and I wasn't happy with how things were in my life. Like sometimes your happiness comes more important. So, making that decision to step away from the thing I love the most was the toughest decision of my life. But also, it's like what's important. Long term's important. Professional was not in the picture. So it's more how can I get myself prepared for the long-term future? And I was exploring three different schools, and I went down to TCU where my best friend graduated also with me from TCU. So he went down there the semester before I did. So him being already down there, and I went down there for the first time, and I had an amazing time, and it was great. And I was able to meet actually some of the club soccer guys as well by random. So
Mhm.
they were really good people too. So it seemed like an environment I wanted to put myself in, which I think is everything when you're making a decision like that. You really just want to be in a place where you're happy. And I finally felt happy, and it was good to play soccer and play the game that I loved for fun again and feel that.
So, as you kind of just said, you were really looking into the academic side of how you wanted to approach when you transferred. How did you come to terms with wanting to play club soccer at TCU and making that transition from having to train every day all year round to having fun with your sport again and knowing that that was the best decision for your soccer career, not just as an athlete, but as a student as well?
Yeah, I think that's a good question because it's such a tough decision that you really have to make. But I mean, it's going back down to the basics, like why are you doing it again? Like I was showing up every day for practice, and not everyone's gonna feel like this, but it was starting to feel like a chore to me, and I didn't. That's just like something that you're not gonna have fun with. You're not gonna enjoy yourself doing, and that's not gonna, like I said a little bit ago, it's not gonna be an environment that you want to put yourself in. So for me, it was really just like slowing myself down and going back to the basic and being like, why am I playing this game in the first place? And for me, the Division 3 route, I wasn't the most happy with, but that's not to say that anybody would. I just was unhappy with the circumstances in the school I was in. And that's nothing to go bad against Gettysburg. My best friends also had an amazing experience graduating there. So there was a lot of great times there, but I had to make that decision for myself. And academics was the key role. And Gettysburg didn't per se have a finance degree, and I wanted to learn more about finance. So a lot of things lined up, and it was a great opportunity.
I totally get that. And me and Erin both have talked a lot about consistency, knowing your individual path and understanding what's best for you, not just as the athlete, but as the student. Because a lot of people say, but everybody should say, the student comes first.
Yeah.
And I want to reiterate that to the audience. Everybody's path is different. Everybody has their individual needs, and everybody develops as an athlete and a student in different ways. And I totally agree with what you just said that even though you weren't enjoying soccer as much as an athlete perspective, you made the decision to make the next step, even though it might have been a hard choice. You made the next step as the first priority as the student, but you also were able to move to the next step and play club soccer and keep your athlete portion alive of your career, which is great.
Yeah, I think it's good to keep in mind like you are a student athlete. Like if you're not performing in the classroom, you will not perform you won't even be there on the field in the first place. So you gotta know what's right for you. And I thought that I had an amazing time with my academics at TCU, and I would recommend to anyone.
I know Aaron loves that answer.
Um, no, I know that Max really liked it. I mean, he's living in Texas now, so
Yeah,
clearly they're doing something right down there.
yeah, I'm about 10 minutes. I'm still 10 minutes from there, so I love it down here.
Yeah, he has new roots.
Unfortunately, my mom went to UT, so I gotta
Oh,
stay hook 'em.
that
But
blows.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate what Tyler said. I appreciate you sharing that and being vulnerable because everyone I feel like puts being a student athlete sometimes on a silver platter and it's not as amazing as everyone always makes it out to be. But I appreciate you sharing that, and I know soccer is your thing, so I'm glad you still had an outlet for it. And speaking more of that, what was your experience on club like?
I had such an amazing experience with club. I mean, like I was kind of just said, like for me, I just wanted to play soccer for fun again and go back to the basics, and that's exactly what club allowed me to do. I was ended up being best friends with a lot of guys on the team, so that just shows to you how the kind of culture is, and that's going to be at any school that you want to play club at. Like those guys could play college soccer if they want to anywhere they want, probably, but to go have fun and they wanted to stay to their basics, which I also think is important. And you got to do what you love. And um, I had such an amazing experience playing, and we played such great teams along the way. And we were a good team as well, and we put up our own, especially in the results that we got. So it's safe to say that, yeah, I think our team could have competed. Like if we played some college teams, I would think our club team would do well.
I totally agree with you as a part of the Arizona State club basketball team when I was a part of it. But to add on to that, as you talked about the competition of club soccer, when you came to the club level, do you feel that the competition was what you expected, or did you think it was going to be to the feel of intramural sports? Because a lot of people see club with any sport as an intramural sport where you're just going to play friends, which it's not. It's a competition. When you're
Mhm.
even though you're at the club level, you're still playing for something, and you're playing at a national level. So, can you kind of talk about that and how that made a difference in your development as a soccer player?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of you kind of said I honestly went in with a little bit of lower expectations. Like I didn't really know what to expect. I had gone from training every day, so I knew what the level I was playing at was going to be very, very intense. I thought in my head, I was like, there's no way that it could be this intense. And yeah, we weren't training as much, but the level's there. Like the level is there. It's just the speed of play is very, very different. So, for me, it was more honestly slowing myself down in the game.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big thing for me because I was used to going so, so fast. And this one, I was able to slow myself down and play a little bit of like it's just so different from what I had experienced playing in college to where it just felt fun again. Like I keep saying that, but it felt fun and the level was really good. Like we went to nationals, we went to regionals, we wanted to win everything that we set our minds to. And I mean, we went to nationals and I think, lost on goal difference, but it is what it is. Like we wanted to win that and we went out there and we went 110% every day.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think for athletes just starting out, if you aren't at this stage of fully getting recruited in the sense of what you want to be recruited, I think club for any sport, baseball, basketball, soccer, there's football club teams now. At that level, and there's softball, I think, but at that level, you can develop as a player. It might not be to the standard of the division 3 speed, as you said, but you're still developing as the athlete. You're learning how you are as a student in college, and also preparing yourself for that next level because you are playing. You're not playing high schoolers. You're playing adults pretty much. You're playing 18 to 22, 23-year old. And so that's a big difference in the people you play and the competition you play, even at the level you play. I know it's still a level up from intramurals as we talked about. So club for any athlete is a great transition if you want a year of going to a college, having seeing what the college experience is like, but also having that athletic development within that.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point that you make because I mean, there's club sports past beyond what you even named. There's pretty much club sport for anything nowadays. If you think about it, and I just think it's a good outlet where, I mean, if you still want to play at a really good high level and you love playing when you play, but you may not want to be that 100% commitment where you're playing 6 to 7 times a week, like you're playing every day and it's your full-time job. With club, you could play 2 to 3 times a week and still play at the relatively high level and have a great time while doing that. I just think it's a good option all around, especially for men's soccer. A lot of these schools don't provide you with a lot of these huge, bigger schools. They don't have men's soccer teams.
Hmm.
So I think club soccer, especially like you mentioned UT earlier, UT has an amazing program down there, and they train 4 to 5 times a week. So they're run like a real program. So you can definitely find club programs that are ran like college programs as well.
Yeah, oh, 100%. And I know the ASU women's hockey team is ran like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I know had some education at Michigan State with some classmates that played women's hockey club, and they're all training like it's a D1 sport, and they're playing for a national championship, and it is to that level. Even though you are a student athlete, it's a different experience because you're not practicing as much, but you are still playing to that high competition level.
Yeah, and that's to say, like, if you didn't want to go and play on your own, you can't. You're just training as a team, like half the amount of time. You're still playing the matches. You're
Hmm.
still having practice, but you're just having less team training, and that also allows yourself to go explore other things and see what else you like to do other than just being cornered in your sport. Which for a little bit, I did feel cornered in playing soccer a little bit because it's all I ever knew for a while. And once I was able to play club soccer and I was able to branch myself out a little bit, I learned like I like doing so many other things than just playing soccer.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Speaking of doing soccer in different capacities, you were a women's soccer practice player. Can you share what that experience was like and how that played into your schedule in college?
Yeah, so I didn't know anything about that when I first got to TCU, and then after the my junior year in the fall season, the coach had reached out to our club president, asked if any guys want to do it. I was like, you know what, we don't play club in the spring, we're only in the fall. You know what? Why not? Like, I'll just go see what it's like, and I had the best experience I with that I could have had. I mean, that gave me the environment to play in a real college environment. Like those girls are damn good at soccer and they're gonna go professional. And those girls playing on the national team and I'm playing with them and I'm like, that is so crazy how like this girl's about to go play like in the U20 World Cup and I'm just like, just their practice cone dummy every day. You know what? And I had a great time. Like it's the real deal. You're practicing 4 to 5 times a week. You become really good friends with the girls on the team as well. So it's not like you're just showing up and you're like just practicing like you're having a good time. And I mean, you're there for a reason. You're there to help them win, and you have to know that there's bigger things than yourself. And I kind of realized that as we went on, like damn, these girls like they won the Big 12 shots and they're amazing. They won me a Big 12 ring. I can go show you if you want, but like they're awesome, and so they're working damn hard and they want to win. And at the end of the day, they're trying to get professional. So, and this is what pays for their schools. So it was just a great experience to be a part of that. So the coaching staff there is amazing as well.
So to add on to that, yeah, I mean that's a great experience and that's a great understanding of also adding to the development piece of being a soccer player is I bet you're playing with the top of the top athletes. And so just being able to be at those practices and be on that field with those players helped you become the best soccer player when you came out of college, probably that you've wanted to be, and inspired you to love the game even more because you were able to have fun with it and understand as an athlete how you can become the best version of yourself as an athlete that you want to be.
I think that's a great way to put it, especially because like I mean you're trying to help them win. So it's I mean I had such a great experience because they're a very very good team. They were winning, but when you lose, it almost makes you question to yourself like, damn, am I not doing enough as the practice player? Like, do I need to go work a little bit harder for them, like just so that they can get that little extra edge? So I mean you definitely are putting in the reps. You're as I said, you're training like 5 times a week, so you're getting touches on the ball in the quite literally the best college soccer women's environment that you can. So you're playing at a really, really high level, and those girls are damn good, as I keep saying. So
Now, to add off of that, with being a practice player, how much did you learn as a soccer player just playing against these players? You have to understand how to prepare your team that you're practicing with for the teams that they're about to play. How did your knowledge of the game of soccer develop through having to be those other teams and having to prepare this team to win a Big 12 championship and put them in that position to be the best that they could be?
yeah, that's just something that you learn as you grow on and you watch like if you watch soccer on TV, yeah, it looks boring. Like a lot of like people say it looks boring, but it's just like chess, like you're just trying to move pieces out of the way to open up the free piece to lead to the goal. So I definitely think just knowledge of the game helps you the most. And it was just like actually caring. Like, yeah, like I actually cared about the team and I wanted them to win because if they're winning, I look good doing it. So like helping them do it. So it's just like when you're preparing for the team, it actually also gives you a good like peace of mind. Like I played a lot of systems. I never seen that. I never played that before. I'm a defender, but I got to go play forward. Like I need to learn. I get to learn like what that's like. So you got to learn so many different aspects of the game, especially that like I never had a chance to because I was always learning the defensive side of the game. But with this, I got to attack more and learn the attacking. So that was definitely a fun experience. And I mean, now I feel like I can actually go and watch the game, and I like know what I'm talking now on offense.
Now that you've had some time since you graduated, are there anything that you would tell a current high school athlete, or you could go back and tell former high school athlete you?
Yeah, I would definitely say soak it all in. Definitely soak it all in because I mean, I quite literally just graduated college a couple months ago, but those are the fastest 4 years of your life, and I feel like they're gone like that, and I'm never gonna get that ever again. Take advantage of all of it, and yeah, the future is important, but live in the moment. That's something that I've realized more now that I am graduated from college, and I wish that I knew it when I was a junior in high school. Because if you just live in the moment and trust the process and stay consistent, and just 85% of doing anything is just showing up. If you're already there, if you're at the gym, what are you gonna do? Go home? No. Are you at the field? What are you going to do? Go home? You already took all the energy to get there. Like you're going to show up and you're going to bust your butt to go do whatever you can. So just staying consistent and getting down to the core and knowing why you're doing it.
Even though you are graduated, are you still involved in soccer in any capacity currently?
Yeah, I mean, I watch soccer every single day still. So obviously, I still love it, and I'm happy. As I kind of said, like I found that love for soccer again. So, like I go play pickup every now and then with my buddies, and I try and stay around the game as much as I can because I just really love it, and it's the one thing that I've always had to fall back on. That when nothing's going right and I'm not in the right place, like I can go to the field and kick around, and it makes me happy. So it's always been that for me, and always will probably.
Yeah.
And also, adding on to that, a big portion of knowing your path and understanding what the best way to approach being a student athlete is the connections you make and the people that you really keep in touch with and make relationships with throughout the process. How did you do you still keep in touch with people on the TCU in the TCU women's program, or do you talk to any of the coaches still, or how do you stay involved with the program now that you're graduated?
Yeah, but first I'll start with Gettysburg. Those kids are my best friends for my whole life. Like you get so close being around each other 24/7 and like that for that reason alone, I would not make a different decision. I would not, I wouldn't trade it for the world meeting those best friends. And I know I could still call any of those guys and I could probably still call any of the coaches that I've had right now. And I know they'd pick up and I would do the same if they ever needed anything from me. And it goes the same with TCU. Like those are some of my best friends that I also have ever made in my life. And it was a great experience and it was different. TCU experience was different because we didn't have a coach. So I was the treasurer my senior year, so it was a good experience getting like a little bit of a front office kind of feel. And like I had to get really close to the president, vice president because we had to figure stuff out. So I still talk to those guys all the time.
If there's one lesson you could take away from your entire soccer journey, what is it and how is it still applicable in your current 9 to 5 life?
The only thing that can change anything for yourself is yourself. You're the only one that can do anything for yourself. You're the only person that's going to tell yourself no at the end of the day if you don't want to do something, or if you say you can't, that's not a real thing. Like you just got to show up and be consistent and do it every day. And eventually, I mean, if you just show up every day and you start doing it, do it, that's how habits are formed. And that's like, so with me, like my non-negotiables for every day are working out, getting a workout into some capacity, whether it's playing pickup soccer, it's lifting for an hour, going on a run, something. And then I also like to get in the sun for 30 minutes a day, just make sure that I'm soaking in the sun because it's good for you. So, I mean, that is not important, but it's
No, it's all important.
it's really, I mean, everything I just said, yeah.
Okay. The most favorite part of all is the rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So, for the rapid fire questions, I have a few questions and I just want you to think of the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite cleat, either brand or cleat style?
Nike Tiempo. But I wish Adidas X's were still a thing. The 19.1s. Favorite of all time.
What is your go-to hype song right before a game?
When I was younger, I'd listen to BST by Polo G or Solo by Future. They would just get me super focused and calm down. Now it'd be Hurricane Wisdom.
Great. Who is the athlete or coach you look up to the most?
Oh, that's a good question. Coach Nate Downing changed my life forever. I feel like I have to give him a shout out somewhere in here. He just, everything that I learned, he taught me. And he was my coach from like 10 years old to like 17. So I had a long time with him. He helped me throughout my entire recruiting process. So I'll always say thank you to him. But if I had to choose a professional athlete, I'd probably choose Reece James because he's just from this Chelsea and I love Chelsea. And he's had a lot of setbacks and had to come back and he's prevailed through them and come out stronger. So those are the kind of people that you want to look up to.
Totally. What is your favorite soccer drill?
Drill, just probably just passing up against the wall as many times as you can in any capacity, getting as many touches as you can, one touch, two touch, any kind of turn this way, that way. I'm gonna kick the ball this way and turn back this way and pass it again. Just getting as many as you can.
So, on the contrary, then, what is your least favorite or most hated drill?
Defending headers specifically.
Oh,
Why defending headers
that sounds
specifically?
fun.
Because I mean, you just know you're in a box and you know someone is going to be whipping in balls, and all you have to do is head the ball out, and you have to get it to the right spot, or else it's going to land in a good place for the other team.
That does not sound fun.
It is what it is.
What is Ben's biggest soccer weakness?
Ben,
His biggest soccer weakness.
that is
Ben.
my brother. Daddy always thought he was better than me.
Oh, okay. What is your favorite soccer memory?
Probably winning the city championship my junior year. I didn't play, but we beat the number one team in the state, and I mean, we were not expected to win. It was in front of 1,000+ people, so it was amazing. And I wish I could have played in that game, but everything happens for a reason.
Who is that team?
Soloria, another great program down on the south side.
And one word to describe your playing style.
Utility. I just think I can do it all, and anywhere that you need me to do, and I can fill in the gaps wherever you need me to do. I'll play goalie.
Amazing. Do you have a favorite soccer stadium, either you've played in or visited?
Oh, Stamford Bridge. Obviously, that's Chelsea Stadium, but if I didn't have to choose that, definitely it's like Siegel Park. It's where Borussia Dortmund play. I went there just recently this past May and saw a match, and they have the craziest fans I've ever seen and been a part of. So if anyone loves soccer and just loves crazy people and fans, go there and sit in
But
the yellow wall.
Yellow Wall.
comparatively to going to a U.S. sporting event, what is the scenery like in a European soccer game?
I mean, if you compare MLS to the US, the MLS is starting to get there, kinda.
Hmm.
But I mean, the European was the greatest thing I've ever seen. It's just people shouting the whole time, like lighting flares in the stands and just screaming chants. And I mean, you just see like why you're there, and I mean, everyone there is one big family. So
That's awesome. And last but certainly not least, who is your favorite cousin? Everyone's dying to know.
Aaron,
It's on record. Anyway, thank you so much, Max, for coming. And I learned so much about you and so much about soccer. But yeah, thank you so much, Tyler.
Thanks for joining us, Max. It was great to have you as our first soccer player and joining us on the podcast.
thank you guys for having me. Of
Thank you, Max.
course, bye guys.
Erin, I really enjoyed having your cousin on the podcast. That was a great story. He shared a lot in a short amount of time, but it's very detailed. He described how consistency and the importance of your own individual journey. He takes the process for himself and not looks into anybody else's process.
Mhm.
He takes advantage of his connections he makes.
Mhm.
He takes advantage of the opportunities he gets, and he takes on challenges. And as a student athlete, not just as the athlete part, but as we talk about in the interview with Max, the importance of the student aspect of what it really is to be a student athlete. And Max does a really good job. Max, thank you again for coming onto the podcast. I really enjoyed hearing your story. I really enjoyed telling the audience a little bit about your story, and I hope the audience can relate to what he went through and uh, kind of adjust their own paths to make the best journey for each individual athlete in the audience right now.
Yes, thank you so much, Max. I've learned so much more than any Thanksgiving conversation could have given me. I really appreciate you coming on. And just to echo what Tyler said, he took advantage of so many opportunities, and it was really exciting to learn about that. And I hope you enjoyed the exciting rapid fire questions that I cooked up just for you. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you get notifications when our next podcast episode drops. And we'll see you again soon. Stay shining.
Bye, everybody. See you guys next time.
Bye.